Welcome back to That Adventure Couple. We are on our way to Cairo, Egypt, but we're going to have to change planes in Athens, Greece. So we thought we better extend our layover and see how much of Athens we can see in one day.
We arrived in mid-afternoon. Since we had plenty of time, we dropped our stuff at the Airbnb and then headed over to the Plaka Stairs. We were absolutely starving, so we chose a restaurant with a rooftop that had a wonderful view of the Acropolis.
We're now eating on a rooftop that overlooks Athens from the Plaka Stairs, and we have the Acropolis on the other side. Well, babe, that's a lot of food. This might have been a mistake. And the food challenge is complete. Didn't quite make it.
After we ate entirely too much food, we headed over to Areopagus Hill to catch the sunset, and it was kind of a sprint to get there, so we were a little bit out of breath.
We just ran up here. How do you feel?
Really tired and out of breath, but it's very pretty.
There's a hill right next to the Acropolis. The Acropolis is back there. That everybody gathers on to watch the sunset. So we came out here on our first night to watch the sunset over Athens.
After the sun went down, it was time to get some dessert, so we walked over to the Little Kook. This is a really unique fairy tale inspired cafe that takes up the whole street. It's really awesome to walk through, but we didn't actually get dessert here. Our Airbnb host had told us about Nancy's Sweet Home that was right around the corner, so we thought we'd give him a try. We got to sit outside so we could people watch and enjoy some really amazing desserts. After dessert, it was straight to bed for us because we had to get up bright and early to go see all of the ancient ruins of Athens.
In the morning, we got up early to hike to the top of the Acropolis. We did get there about 30 minutes before open, but we do recommend going ahead and getting your tickets ahead of time so that you can be some of the first people in the door. We didn't get our tickets ahead of time, so we did have to wait in line to get those, so we were not able to beat the crowd this morning. We recommend getting the multi-pass. It's good for multiple days, and it gets you into about a dozen different archaeological sites around Athens.
If you'd like to have a guided tour of the Acropolis, I'll put a link for one in the description of the video. We decided to sightsee on our own, so we downloaded an audio guide app. It costs $3, and it really did a pretty good job of explaining all of the structures on top of the Acropolis. I'll put a link for it in the description as well. Of course, the highlight of the Acropolis is the Parthenon. Construction on this massive temple started in 447 BC. The Parthenon had various uses throughout the centuries, but it remained largely intact for over 2,000 years, until it sustained heavy damage from an explosion in 1687.
The Parthenon is currently undergoing extensive restoration.
When we were done on top of the Acropolis, we made our way down the hill to see what other archaeological sites were included in our multi-pass. The first stop was the Temple of Zeus. This was an absolutely massive temple. Construction on the Temple of Zeus started in the 6th century BC, but it wasn't actually completed until over 600 years later. When it was finished, it consisted of 104 of these massive columns. Throughout the years, war and earthquakes have wreaked havoc on the temple. Most of the columns have been scavenged and used to build other structures in Athens.
Right now we are at the ancient Agora. This is the Greek Agora. It was built around 2,500 years ago, and it was the center for trade and socialization in ancient Athens.
The most amazing thing to me at the ancient Agora is the Temple of Hephaestus. It stood for nearly 2,500 years and is still in relatively good condition compared to the other ancient ruins.
It was the peak of the day and had started to get pretty warm out, so we decided to go somewhere with air conditioning. We headed to the National Archaeological Museum. This museum contains the largest number of Greek artifacts throughout all of Greece. If you have time to go to another museum, we definitely recommend the Acropolis Museum. Russ had already gone to it last time he was in town, so we decided to do the National Archaeological Museum instead.
Included in the multi-pass is an archaeological site that is the old cemetery on the edge of Athens. A lot of the tombs and monuments are still here, so you can walk through them. This is also where the main gates in and out of Athens were when it was walled in. Courtney found a turtle, or a tortoise, I suppose.
Come on, you got this. So strong.
He's like, stop looking at me. You're making this awkward. Okay, you know the saying, grab the bull by the balls? This is where you do that. Oh, wait, no, it's by the horns. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay, Courtney's had enough of the ancient ruins. Oh look, another rock. So, I told her we can be done with the ancient ruins until we go to Egypt tomorrow.
Turtle!
And lots of turtles. There's been lots of turtles here. The trip to Greece would not be complete without some gyros. We finished off our trip to Athens with a cocktail and a sunset view of the Acropolis. That's how we spent 24 hours in Athens. Please like and subscribe so you can see our next adventure in Egypt.